Okay, let's get to the House of Delegate races. I'm predicting the Democrats pick up 3. 2 of them mail it in. The seat of retiring Dave Albo gone. And the seat of the Dudenheffer, he was going to lose anyway. That's gone. There's 2 pickups right there. And I figure you get one other one. Maybe it's Ty Greason. Maybe it's Scott Ligenfelter or one of those. Maybe it's the Blacksburg seat. Maybe it's that. But I don't think you'll pick up all 3. I think you'll pick up.
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe Lemunyon seat.
Maybe Lemunyon. So I figure 3 is my prediction because a lot of these Republicans are going to hang on. Bob Marshall's going to win. That's done.
Why do you say that?
Not going to win that seat. Why do I say that? Because the ad that she did with putting her makeup on, which was like glorifying her transgenderification, you would never do that ad if you were tied or ahead because you would then campaign on the issues. When I saw that ad, I said to myself, she must be down by 10, 15 because that's a Hail Mary. There's no other way you would put that ad out.
I don't think that ad actually went on TV, though. I think it was mainly just used for fundraising and sending
They
out
put it on
insiders
TV?
and stuff.
No,
I
they
don't
put it
think
on
so.
TV.
I don't
No,
think
did
so.
they?
I think that was an internet ad.
It's an internet ad.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Nobody goes.
No, they have another ad they put on TV that focused on Route 28 and all that.
Right.
That just went up, I think. But, yeah, I don't think they put actually on TV.
Even to put that on the internet, it was a desperation move. And I like Danica. I think she's very intelligent and certainly very knowledgeable. But I don't think she wins. I think Bob actually is going to win that handily. So you start looking where else you're going to pick up. I mean, there's other than those 2 that I mentioned, everything else that you might pick up is close, right?
Yeah, I mean, John, the people forget how hard it is to take out an incumbent.
Really
sometimes.
hard.
I mean, actually, interestingly, we're sitting in the law office of a guy who knocked out incumbents to win both of his seats in the House and in the Senate. I think he's actually the only
Who was
member.
that, you?
Chap.
Oh, Chap,
Yeah.
that's right.
And I think he's the only member who beat an incumbent to win both his House seat and his Senate seat. It's a very hard thing to do. And if you actually look back at the history over the last 10 years, the House Democrats have taken out one incumbent who was not under indictment, who they targeted.
Dudenheffer.
No. Mike Watson, actually.
That's right, Watson. That's right.
Yeah, but
they did beat
Phil Hamilton
Dudenheffer,
wasn't targeted. He was not. The Dudenheffer seat was not
He lost
targeted.
that on his own.
Well, yeah, and Luke Torian and I did some stuff at the last minute
Right.
and bought a couple mail pieces, but the House caucus
But
did
you
not
guys
invest.
you guys targeted the Watson seat.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you looked at the numbers, and Monty Mason was a great candidate. I mean, Mike did a good job. I like Mike, and I enjoyed serving with him, but the seat just wasn't a Republican seat. And
Right.
Monty was the perfect candidate for that seat.
Right.
But that's the only incumbent that's been targeted in the last 10 years that went down. Now, obviously, we were going against the headwinds created by President Obama in Virginia over that 8 years of that period.
Right.
And back before that, when President Bush was in office, we had more success taking in incumbents. Not hugely more success, but we had more success. And the way I come at all this, when I look at what happened 4 years ago, during McAuliffe Cuccinelli, I think the House caucus lost, I want to say, either 6 or 7 races by less than 1,000 votes. And I think this election cycle, the Trump effect, is probably worth at least 500 votes per seat of turnout. And so I think there's going to be, the 2 open seats are easy ones, and those are gimmies, and the incumbents are gone, and those will, I agree with you about that. But I think there's probably 2-3 incumbents they're going to go down. I would say they're going to get closer to 4 or 5. But it also is highly dependent on Ralph's margin. If it's a very tight race, if it's a 2-3 point race, the pickups are going to be very limited. But as soon as Ralph, if he gets over 5 to 10 points plus,
Then it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Then it changes.
right?
Well, I think
Because then you have to have a lot of people cross,
Yeah, exactly.
ticket
Yeah.
splitting on their
Yeah.
votes, and that just it
That's
doesn't
really
happen.
tough to do.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think my analysis goes down to tubes. If Northam wins by 4 or more, which I don't think he will. I think even if I'm wrong and he does win, it's by 1.5. Really close. Really close. I mean, if you go back to 13, Ken Cuccinelli should have got beat by 12. right? That's what all the polls are saying. He was a terrible candidate. I voted for him.
McAuliffe only got 47%.
John, their internals
biggest mistake I ever made.
McAuliffe's internal polling was never beyond 3.
Yeah, well,
McAuliffe had that, and his team, Robbie Mook, my old campaign manager.
But he
they had
should
that
have
thing,
been.
They had
He
that
should
thing
have
nailed.
been. He should have won that a lot easier.
Well,
he had the government shutdown, and he was running against a horrible candidate.
One of the things that people forget about a little bit in 2009, when we took all those losses that Scott was referring to, basically what happened is
the year I won. The year I won
is that those seats reverted back to the way they were drawn in 2000. They were drawn for Republicans. We had slowly picked them up, and after Obamacare, there was a rush to get back to revert those seats back to how they were drawn, which was as Republican seats, and everybody lost by just a couple hundred votes. As a matter of fact, of all the seats we picked up since 2003,
right,
there were a bunch of seats that we had picked up. I was the only survivor, and I won by 200 votes, having won by 4,200 votes the election before that. It can flip that hard on you when your seat was drawn for the other party.
All right, well, look, I don't think that if Ralph Northam does win, it's going to be 2 or 3. So I don't think it's going to affect our predictions. But the Republicans are saying, oh, there's a couple seats that we're going to pick up. I say none. They're not going to pick up anything. They think they're going to pick up this seat in Loudoun County, David Ramanow's seat, John Bell. No way. But Bell wins easy. The candidate doesn't even speak English. Plus, he voted,
always an obstacle.
A little bit of an obstacle. Very nice guy, Suba something. Plus, he voted against me for delegation chairman.
Oh, now we get to the real reasons.
And he voted with Cuccinelli, and he voted against me for delegation chairman. And then
did he nominate Trump, though, I thought, at the convention?
Yes, we had him nominate Trump, and he couldn't even say that right. But he did vote. He did vote against me, and so
I love the internecine warfare.
Therefore, because he voted against me for delegation chairman, and I lost by 2 votes to Cuccinelli, therefore he's going to lose to John Bell. Now, then you get to Heather Cordasco challenging Mike Mullen. Blowout. I mean, she's not going to look. She works hard. She's raised some money. She'll make it a competitive race, but Mullen. You saw it. Mason was the perfect candidate for that. The second perfect candidate's Mullen. Yeah, the guy's a centrist and a very level-headed guy, and I think he wins easy.
Yeah, and he's a hard worker, and he's not. I agree. He's exactly what that district needs.
Okay, trivia question: name the 3 members of the General Assembly who went to Woodson High School.
Woodson High School.
Chap Peterson.
No, not Chap Peterson.
Dave
Morrison obviously won. Jackson Miller
was one. Yeah. Jackson Miller and Mike Mullen. You know what I found out looking up at my high school's website?
What?
They listed prominent graduates. Jackson Miller's not on that list. Dave Marsden's not on that list, but Mike Mullen is.
There you go.
And that's wrong. We're going to fix that.
No respect. By the way,
now what are the 3 that went to Fairfax High School?
Well, obviously the speaker, myself.
Frank Wagner.
No, he did not. He went to Lanier Middle School, as did Bill Stanley. Yes. No, that's the real question. Who went to Lanier Middle School? 3 senators. Me, Frank Wagner, and Bill Stanley.
Really?
Yes.
Lanier Middle School.
Sydney Lanier Middle School in Fairfax City.
What about the high school here?
Just
Fairfax
me. Well, it was me and the speaker.
Speaker Howell, yeah.
Yeah.
And Speaker Howell.
He went to the old school.
He'll be speaker for a couple of
He'll
days,
be speaker for a few more weeks. Yeah.
A few more weeks, that's it. We're going to miss him, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you're going to miss him.
What's Chap's prediction for the number of seats they pick up?
Yeah,
John,
Chap,
let me ask you a question.
Let's go.
What do you
think? We got to go till we get back, but I got to get in the predictions. How many seats, David?
How many seats?
Yeah.
6.
6. Scott?
I said 5.
It's Chap.
You know what? I'll say 6. 5.
3. The answer is 3. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. You're all wrong. I'm right again.
John McLaughlin.
We'll be right back with the John Fredericks Radio Network live at Chap Peterson World Headquarters.